Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, glad to have you. Welcome. My name is Larry. I found my dream retirement plan. At least I thought I did at one point. Have you found yours? Leave in the comments if you are living your dream retirement plan. If you are living the life you thought you would live when you were retired. Now, personally, I didn't have any goals to retire, what to do when I retired. I had a few general things I thought, but life kind of happened. When I was around 60, I came down and was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. It's in remission now, thankfully. It still rears its ugly head every once in a while with a little flare, but I'm in remission. I'm living a normal life at this age. So for about 3 years there in my life, I didn't have any goal of retiring. I was just worried about living and being able to get out of bed in the morning, being able to drive a car. That was my goal for retirement. But once it went into remission, that's a whole nother story, which I did another video on. Once it went into remission, uh, I had I was able to go back to work. So I kind of phased in retirement. Unlike most of you, I wasn't working one day and retired the next. I kind of phased into it. I would as my health improved, but now I'm in my mid 60s and my health was improving and I was getting back in shape a little bit. And I thought, well, I'm going to do some work. Then the pandemic hit, and I was doing some work through there, and it was all good. It was all good, but it wasn't working every day. There were certain jobs I couldn't do anymore because of my age and my health. But I kind of phased into it. In fact, my last big job was this last April, so I kind of phased into it. So it's a little different than most people. Now on television, I always laugh when I see these commercials. You'll see this 70-year-old couple hand in hand. They're both beautiful people, by the way. Handsome guy, good looking woman. And you'll see them walking hand in hand down the beach about retirement. It's got something financial there, either one of the stock companies or mutual fund companies. They're advertising this is a life you could have. Well, I don't know about you, but I never did relate to any of those. And it's just reality. Very few people do. But I have found out some things I don't want to do. I don't want to travel. I've traveled a lot. Now, I know a lot of you love to travel. I think that's great. If you love to travel, have the health to travel, I think you should. I personally don't want to. I may travel again in the United States. I may fly again. I mean, I'm not afraid of flying or anything, but the last vacation we took about almost 4 years ago now, well, I consider it a regular type vacation. We were in Florida. Okay, it was all good. Had a good time that week. Ate too much naturally, which we all do when we're on vacation. But I had uh, I had some heart issues going into that, just a little bit, nothing real serious. But I went into AFib the night before. We were supposed to fly back home. I went in AFib. Now this isn't just skipping a beat now and then. This was you need to get to a hospital right now. It was I had to get a cardioversion. My heart was going 150 beats a minute. I just pushed it aside. It could have killed me probably, but I waited till I got home, then went to the hospital and got it taken care of. And I've since made a lot of progress in that area, but that really doesn't affect me anymore. But I just don't want to travel anymore. I don't want to be somewhere strange and have health issues. I mean, that's just a fact of life. Now, one thing I did before I retired, I talked to several of my friends. I thought, well, let me talk to a few people, see what they do in retirement. So I asked my one buddy, and he worked at a large local company here, and you would know the name if I said it, but he had a real nice pension, and he had money anyway. He's tired and bark on a tree with most things, so he had a lot of money. So I said, "So, buddy, what do you do all day?" He said, "Oh, I do this, and I do that, and I always got this project." I said, "No, be a little bit more specific." Well, I do this. Well, he never would nail it down what he did all day. So, but we're friends on Facebook, if you want to call it friends on Facebook. And but he was posting, 6 or 7 times a day about cat videos or dog videos or some kind of videos that he was interested in, and that's fine if that's what you all do. But he can't tell me that he's real busy all day when he's doing things like that. I asked another buddy of mine, I said, so you're retired? I said, what do you do all day? Well, I drive part-time for such and such nursing home. He takes people to their doctor's appointments. I thought that was great. Great part-time job, gets him out of the house. He makes a few bucks and he's happy. I asked another guy what he does all day, and he stays pretty busy. He helps a lot of other people, and I think that's great. But even him, I mean, how much grass can you cut? I mean, how many chores can you do around your house? He couldn't really nail it down other than helping some people, and I know he does that. So I had another friend of mine, retired school teacher. I thought, now this guy, he's been retired like 15 years. He'll have it down. What do you do all day? He says, well, I get up and I check, I go online, I check all my investments. I said, okay. I said, how long does that take you? Oh, I probably spend a couple hours doing that. I said, so what do you do the rest of the time? Well, I did. Well, none of them really had an answer. And that, that did not encourage me for retirement. So I knew, my retirement was going to be a little different. One thing that affects us all, and I don't care who you are, when you retire, whatever your plan is, your health is going to change for everybody. Everybody's health changes. You can be in really good health, and then one day, in a literal heartbeat, your life can change for the rest of your life. For example, as a young man, I played the guitar. I thought, well, I'll put it down. I put it down. Life gets in the way. I had kids and jobs and all that good stuff. So I put it down. I thought, I'll pick that back up in retirement because I really enjoy playing. Oh, not good, but I really enjoy playing. Well, now with my hands and the very arthritic hands, I couldn't make a chord with my left hand if I had to. So that kind of went by the wayside. And it really doesn't matter if you have a ton of money, pensions, investments, or you have no money. There's very few people in their 80s that actually enjoy retirement. Very few, very few. In fact, I'd say late 70s. I've noticed I'm 71 for those that don't know, and things are starting to change for me pretty drastically, actually. And it doesn't matter how much money you have, your health is going to change. So enjoy life while you can in the situation that you're in. But where I've landed in this area is I'm content. I'm not happy all the time, but I am content. And I think that's it gives me a lot of peace. One of the things we do is it affects our retirement plan a little bit. Is we mourn. I mean, we're actually in mourning over our former self. I mourn not being able to go backpacking. You know what I do? I watch backpacking videos. I just watched some guy hike the Appalachian Trail. He started in January and he just now finished. He just took his good old sweet time. He filmed the whole thing. I can't get out there, but I can live vicariously through someone else, and that's what I do. I miss my work. I miss my work. I was a painting contractor, for those that don't know. I would take something, or we would take something, depending on how many I had in my crew at the time, we'd take something really ugly and make it look beautiful, sometimes by the end of the day. And I just got so much satisfaction out of that. And now, if I do the dishes, I have to get satisfaction out of that because I can't do the other. And that's okay. I've learned to be content in this situation. Also read an interesting stat the other day. Over 65, those of us over 65, we spend an average of 30 hours a week in front of the TV. I can honestly say I don't spend 30 hours a week in front of the TV, but if you count screen time, like desktop computer or cell phone, yeah, I'm definitely spending 30 hours a week in front of a screen. But I think that's kind of sad because I think a lot of people, their retirement plan is sitting in an easy chair and taking it easy. Well, how long can you do that before you're dead? I mean, you gotta find something. Bottom line is, very few of us, I had my plan, you had your plan, maybe you're living your plan. If you do, props to you, man. I think that's cool. But very few of us are in a spot where we expected to be when we were at this age. Very few of us. As I like to say, sometimes life happens, and life happens to most of us, and we just have to be mentally prepared to change with it as it changes. And just learn to be content in your situation. Not necessarily happy. You don't have to be happy with everything that goes on, but you learn to be content. Enjoy where you are. Enjoy being present. Enjoy the days that we have left. That's about all I've got for today. I just kind of rambled here a little bit, but that's all right. If you got anything out of this, like, share, subscribe. And until we meet again, I'm going to continue to press on towards that goal.